Hello guys, Edgar with GTVSource.com here today with the ASUS CUBE, and this is our official review of the device. We're gonna take a look at the hardware, we're gonna take a look at the remote, we're gonna take a look at the most important part, and that is the software. Um, to begin with, as you can see, the ASUS CUBE is not small at all. It is a big device, but I have found that it is actually not that big of a problem, at least for me, because I don't move my Google TV a lot. It's not really that huge of a problem. The weight is centered at the bottom, and that makes it very sturdy, so it has a good build quality, even though it's made mostly of plastic, or completely of plastic actually, the exterior at least. And yeah, it looks good and it's nice. And the remote, it has its issues, but it's limited compared to devices like the Vizio Co-Stars remote, which is actually quite thick and big and bulky. And the keys offer much better feedback compared to other devices. And the only problem, a big problem of mine, is actually the fact that it doesn't have a number pad in the front of the device. It only has a number pad. It's not really a number pad, it's just the numbers and the keyboard. And another problem I found a lot relating to the remote at least is that the IR blaster, it doesn't have a lot of range. It actually has to be really close to your secondary device's um, IR sensor. So that's a big problem for me too, because I have to choose between using the Asus Cube's remote either for the cable box or for the TV. So I ended up choosing using the cable box because I switch channels much more often than I turn my TV on or off, and I don't switch the volume as much as I would switch channels. So there's that. With that in mind, let's jump into the software side. As you can see here, we're on the TV. I put the volume down for your comfort, but this is the main interface, and what it shows you is the ASUS Cube. It's a cubicle interface, a cubicle UI. You move up and down like this, and you can go to the right, you can go to the left, and if you go one step further to the left, you will be able to access your widgets, which is actually really nice to have them there all the time. Um, you can switch this by pressing the menu button and going to customize home widgets. From there, you can add, remove, or complete or move around your widgets wherever you would prefer. Um, let's go back here and let's take a look. The one thing that I don't like about this interface, yes, it's unique, it's special, it's different, it's innovative if you want to call it that. But I feel like it adds extra steps to do simple things. Before I would press the home button and it would take me straight to my apps. Here I have to, if I'm somewhere else in TV and movies for example, I have to go up to home or wherever, I have to go to all apps and I have to press the button. And then right here it's a little more confusing too, because you got the categories here as well. So you can go to like to your apps right here. You have to go to the right and then you can go back and do this. And the way you do it, the way you organize these is by pressing, for example, Crackle. You press and hold the OK button. Remove shortcut, choose your app category. So this would be a TV and movies, right? And it's already there. Whoa, a force close. That's not nice. Those don't happen very often, just to let you know. But yeah, that's the way it works. Let's try it again. Maybe it's something with that specific function that I hadn't noticed before. Let's see. Your app category, TV and movies. I have no idea why this is happening. It wasn't happening before. But you get the idea. It should be fixed in an upcoming update. Um, so you have your game, social life, sports, etc. I have actually added it already. Maybe that's why it's failing, but Crackle's already here. And yeah, everything else works fine. The YouTube works fine. Netflix works fine. You can actually also play your videos from the USB port if you have an external hard drive or a USB flash drive or anything. Um, let's go into the settings, which is even that is completely different for the Asus Cube. If you go here, you got the apps, you got the home app settings, system settings, and you got the network, you got the standby mode, you got Netflix, you got video input, you got picture and sound, search, application, language and input devices, the works. And this one is actually for the remote, which we will talk about in a little bit. You do have voice search with the Asus Cube with Google TV, which you can access by simply pressing the button on the right side of the remote. It's a little shortcut that Asus has given us, and it's actually pretty handy. And actually, the little button right next to the microphone is to activate the touchpad or deactivate it. You can switch between modes. So if you want to use sensitivity or touch controls instead of pressing up and down on the D-pad, you can press that button and it switches mode, and then you press back to go back to the D-pad and the color buttons. So let's press the search button and say search The Walking Dead. Searching The Walking Dead, it's working, it's doing its thing. And as you can see, it actually works differently here because the interface or the home interface is layered on top of the video of your cable signal. And that makes it a little bit more intrusive. I used to like it better when it would pull off from the bottom like Sony devices, or pulled off from the left like VisiCoaster and other devices. That seemed less intrusive. It didn't really block your view of the movie, the show, whatever you may be watching. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. And as you can see, voice search works perfectly, as it should. You have if you go back to the video or your live TV, you can press the guide button. And as always, when you first turn it on, it takes a little bit for the quick guide to show up and load, but there it is. And this one is less intrusive. I kind of like this one better. They should have done this kind of design for the others, where it's just like an outline and you can still see what's going on in the center of the video. One thing I really like about the Asus Cube is that it comes with its own remote app, and this could be annoying for some people actually, because you're already using Able Remote, you already have the official Google TV app, the remote app, and why do you need another one? Well, it's simple. It actually adds a few features that I really like, and it searches right here, searching, and you can press here Asus Cube Google TV, and you got all your options right here. As you can see here, you got the sections above. It's remote, home, search, and disconnect. Disconnect is obvious. Search is actually not your voice search or your native Google TV search. It's actually, what it does is search through your files, search through your apps, and search through anything. So that's that, right? You can search your content, you can search anything. And right here, as you can see, you got app, you got video, you got music, you got photo, and you got all files. So let's go through app, because as of this moment, my hard drive is not plugged into it, so I don't have any music or anything. But over here, you can see you got quick access to all of your apps. So I was telling you guys that the main app, the main UI, it adds extra steps to go into your apps and doing whatever you want to do. Well, here is a solution for it. If you're actually plan on using your device as a remote, it'll actually be way easier than with other remotes. Yes, it doesn't have. I know you can do this with Able Remote too, and this definitely doesn't have other features that Able Remote offers. But it's simple. It's the official app. It's people sometimes don't want to deal with having to customize their remote app. They just want something that works and that takes care of their deal. So there's that, and then let's test it here. Let's open up the movie player. And we go here, and as you can see, it opened up the movie player. If you go to the remote the actual remote, it'll look a lot like the older generation remote that we're used to seeing. You can see this thing which works with by swiping your finger, and then if you tap an OK or like around the middle of the circle, it'll be the OK. So let's see here. You can go back. You can do everything. You can do the same thing, and if you press this little button on top, it'll send you back to the other part of the remote. And these are actually two separate downloads, the actual remote and this part of the remote, but it doesn't show up on your app tray twice. It doesn't do any of that. So it's just a weird thing that they're doing. Other than that, it looks pretty similar to what we are used to. Overall, the ASUS Cube is it's actually a pretty good device. I like it a lot. Its processor makes it very snappy. It's actually very responsive. It's a very responsive machine, which is surprising because it is supposed to be more of an affordable Google TV, and I feel like it's actually up there with Sony in terms of responsiveness, and if not better actually, probably. And this is YouTube. I jumped into it by accident. Um, to me, it's the deal breaker. That's not really a deal breaker. It's to me really the deal breaker. What mostly annoys me is the IR blaster problem, which makes it's so weak that it has to be so close to the IR sensor that it forces you to choose between using your Asus Cube remote with your cable box or with your TV. That to me is a big problem because I'm kind of forced to use a secondary remote other than my Asus Cube remote, and that's a problem I didn't have with the Vizio Co-Star. And what else? Price is $139.99, $140, and yes, we do have Google I/O coming up, and we're hearing there's gonna be something announced. I seriously doubt it's gonna be a device. So if you are actually aiming to get a Google TV right now, and you need a set-top box right now or in the very near future, I think the Asus Cube is a great choice to go with. I mean, it's a little bit more expensive than the $100 boxes. It's cheaper than the Sony Google TV, and you get much more features than you do with any of those. Or at least you get all the features that you could ask for from Google TV with a little twist and a little bit extra. Well, that was it for the Asus Cube with Google TV. It's a great device. You should probably buy it if you're thinking about getting a Google TV. It's definitely one of the best options in terms of set-top boxes. It beats most of the others. It has all the features GTV version 3 can offer, which are, the new things like voice search, quick guide, the ability to send YouTube videos from your smartphone to your TV as long as you're connected to the same network, and everything else really. And it's fast, it's innovative, it's new, it's different. And if you don't like that, you can always get a launcher. It's not you're not limited to just using this interface. So there's that. This is a review of the Asus Cube with Google TV. I am Edgar with gtvsource.com. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye.